you keep writing, the more comes around you. You believe that people like Elisha never read English, never read literature. As a scientist, a soldier, a soldier. But what made him famous? He was writing.
You said as long as you have the basics. What are the basics now?
Well, the basics, at least, he must be able to read and write.
Okay.
Then you must read good authors. That's the most important. That's the basic.
Okay, you must read other books. That means you must have a mentor.
First and foremost, you read.
Okay.
Because it starts from the family. Those stories you read, there are books that have the graphics, designs, and so on.
Yes.
There are pictures, actions, and so on. You as a child, you to tutor a child. First mentor of a writer is from the mom. Your mother is your first mentor. Because each time you have a child, when you teach a child, those who go to say, teach a child the way, he knows how to go at the end of the day. If you teach a child the value of from cradle, he will never go out of it. He's happy writing. Each time you see a child wants to train him, he reads. And you see him discussing.
So as long as you know how to write, you know how to read, that is the basic. You can then have a mentor, a good author, like you have said, and then follow that person, and then you find out that the inspiration will come like droplets of rain.
Yeah.
All right, poetry's coming in already. Let's quickly introduce our book. Today, amongst many other books that Adiwale has written so many books, and for publications, editorials, he has done over 100, like he said. But then today, we're picking just one of those books, and this one, I noticed with the way he talks about his books, it seemed like he was kind of passionate, really passionate about this particular book. This book is called Tears of Bereaved. All right, this particular book, when you hear Tears of Bereaved, you wonder, who is the bereaved here being referred to? And then why is the bereaved, and all of that. But you find out more. Yes, Tears of the Bereaved.
Yes, sorry, the books are not here. I never thought it's important to come with books. Tears of the Bereaved as a truth is emotional. We used the African culture to define contemporary literature. That we believe that the woman person has no right in African context. That's what we said, no. We use that book to define the woman person in African perspective. What is important, right? Do not let strangers tell your story. Is one of the characters that's Ababuma, Ababuma is married to Chinedu, who is a square.
Wow.
So he has children, and at the time, Chinedu, from time to time, will be sick. It's like a serial sickness. When the last fell sick, he's now married with children. The wife was worried, the woman was worried. What's happened to this? We'll talk by now. He would have overgrown, this sickling journey from when he was 4. But the fear was we want to keep running every day. But let this man, get recovered. Yeah. Because if he dies because of this sickness, people will assume that his woman was not able to take care. It was her own carelessness, abandonment that led to the man's death. And they will begin to bring her before the family to come and explain what happened to the man. And they have this belief that all that the man has labored for will be pulled from her. She cannot be the benefactor any longer. That's the message. So when a man dies, the family of the man will deny the woman all the rights, all the properties, all the places the man has worked for. That is the mentality we have, and that was what is making that man cry.
Do we still have that going on in our society? I know back then we used to hear of those kind of stories and traditions. Do we still have those traditions and something?
To you, those things are there somehow when we cannot speak out.
Okay.
The problem woman person suffer is not being able to speak out. It's not looking for a woman identity and so on and so forth. You must speak out. Because a lot of women die in silence. Small amount of ignorance and illiteracy cannot defend themselves, cannot as well defend their children and family. But we do not do well in our setting. A woman that has a husband, whatever the husband has toiled for, you must be able to inherit it and be able to train the children. Yes, you have African concept in a way, but we want to use that book to tell the outside world that it is not all about evil in Africa. That what they think that denial is not so. It's by the individual family and the kind of woman too.
Okay.
And also the next one to let us know, when a woman plays a good role in the life of the husband, nobody quarrels her. Because it's something with the man. Sometimes there are still places in Africa said today, a man's wife will die. The family want to come and take the corpse away.
Yes.
You marry born, not the only thing we're married. It's our own. They will move the love of the man. The carcass and they take the corpse away. And that's very in the father's area. It's also pain. The man is also bleeding. The man is also weeping. Some places, I don't want to mention it just now. Some places, when a woman dies, they expect the man to come and remarry the corpse. Remarry the man. The woman is sorry. There are places that happen.
After he has already married her properly. Because I know I've heard stories like that. But the saying was that the man probably did not pay her bride price. So after paying her bride price, he'll be asked to come marry the corpse again.
From experience, I don't want to mention the area.
That's fine. That's fine.
Sure, the woman will die. They expect the man to go all over again, and at the end of the day, they still carry the corpse home. So who is it? Both of them are grieved.
So Ababuma, that's what you call the character of that book, right? So for her now, she was actually scared of losing her husband, not just because she's not going to have a husband, but also because she was scared of what his family might do to her and her children.
Exactly. And don't fear, because life and death is not in her hands. She's able to do the most she can as a woman, cleanse the man, make sure the man is, get the healers and so on and so forth. But at the back of her mind, she still prays God, not just keeping this man alive, because I'm not in charge of life. For nothing's sake, let him live. So that people don't begin to brand me. You know, some areas they wanted to cross the coast.
You know, all of those traditions.
Yeah, so but
are these things that we can put a stop to?
Let me tell you, we use this book to define as one other.
Okay.
The essence of that is to define the human person. That even in African setting, the human person has a right, has dignity, has integrity. But first of all, speak out.
As the woman should speak out when something like this happens. You know, it's easier now. It's easier now for the woman to speak out because we have some organizations that were probably not in place. They were not in place back then, right? But we have, hold on please, we have more of them now. Yeah. And then for her to speak out also, we have the social media where she can run to. But then, you know, back then, women didn't really have who to talk to when you talk about speaking out.
No. Even it's worse now because of the so-called NGOs that are creating problem in families. Woman has a right to play in the house. I can't imagine me because you went to NBT, you can't come and cook in the house. Yes, you can share the kitchen, but remember, first and foremost, I'm the head of the house, whether they like it or not.
Yes, but we're not going there.
Yes. Who say they cannot do that? You can't complain to your parents. You can go to the palace and talk to the king. You can go to the palace and complain. As at then,
did the women have a voice then?
They do.
They used to have a voice. So that's what you're actually trying to portray with your book. Because the ideology has always been that, especially back then, in some communities, women did not really have a voice. They were not listened to, they were not heard.
That was what the Western mentality wants us to believe.
Okay.
That is the brainwash we suffer today. Who say women don't have a mentality? They don't have women group meetings. In those days, they have family group meetings. They have a forum where they discuss.
Yeah, but you know that in times when there's a family gathering also, there's usually the saying in some communities back then that women are not supposed to say anything.
No, but they have a channel.
How can you talk when you're a woman?
They have a channel of communication.
Okay, so not like they were completely muted.
In women's meeting, they have a family women meeting.
Okay.
They have larger family women meeting, subgroup. That's also larger community meeting. They have class meeting where women meet, married women meet. They also want to go how many. The more women that were born in the house got married away, people call them mother.
That's in a particular community now you're making.
Yes, let's say for example, you are from Bayelsa. There are women, those of you who are daughters married out. They have the role in your maternal home. Hope you know.
Okay.
So they have a meeting, they have a group where they meet from time to time. So it's called the welfare of their family at home. Welfare of the family at home. How are they faring? If it's covered that one particular wife of the wife is disturbing you, they have a right to someone her. May not happening between your husband. They can also mediate.
So women had voices then.
They have.
What about now? How would you say? How much would you say that has evolved?
Well, with time, it's dynamic. Now time has moved on. A lot of women are not educated because a lot of them then went to school. That is mentality. When I tell you, another woman will marry the woman and will get away.
Yes. So
at that period, they never had enough for me to go to school. So they have this home training and mentality preparing for marriage. But now, education has come up. People are well read. People read other research works. People read what people do out there. You go online and see how it's practiced all over the place. You see how you can marry it, how you can synergize it with your own area. But whatever way you do, you serve the heritage, it cannot be killed. But what they do, those ones that are dedicated to individuals, you say I can amend it, say I can give. I'm married the one you have borrowed.
When was this book published?
2022, because it's been in the university.
That means recently.
Yeah,
it's quite recent.
It's a recent work.
Okay, how timely would you say the book is? Talking about the time you actually published and the era. Yes, how timely? Do you think that is what the society needed at that time to bring back what used to happen?
We are Africans. Your books must have the African finesse. We are not in the family cowboy shooting. People go take for taking a child to eatery, this and that. That does not portray our culture. Our problem to most of our children cannot speak our language, even more than home. They can't speak our language. That is important. Going. Our tradition, especially language, is the culture of people. It's going completely. You can't imagine you from Bayelsa Speech job person, your child cannot speak your language. You don't know what they call what they call the palm. If you say Tamu, don't know what Tamuna is. If you don't know what Tigere is.
But we have that
mentality. You won't tell me that.
Introduced him at the beginning of the show, but I feel like I did not tell you that he is the River State chairman of the Association of Nigerian Authors, ANA. All right. So we have talked a bit about his book. Yes, thank you once again for joining us. Yes, we have talked a bit about your book, Tears of the Reef. You told us who the main character of the book is, what her fears were, what her concerns were, the situation she was at that time. You did not complete the story, but I'm not going to ask you to. If anyone who wants the story completed should go get the book and get it completed. But then let's also talk about literature. Let's talk about the reading culture of our youth, especially our students. The other day we took to the streets and we spoke to some people about reading, if they like to read, how many books they have read. And he told us that he doesn't really read books except his school books. And even for his school books, he just reads the pass. And we know that this is the case of so many students out there. So how did we get to that point? Back then, we've heard stories of back then when our parents used to really read. But these days, it doesn't look like it's the case. How did we get here?
Yes, sometimes first, it starts from home. Whatever you learn your child in grade days, it goes with it. Have an environment where I make my child make sure in a week, ensure that as much as 1 month, read a book. I want you to read a particular. When I come back, I say, "Oh, welcome. How did you go with this one? What can you tell me?" In a conversational family, very convivial, discuss. Come on, have you seen concubine? What is your mama doing there? You start talking because from the home. And of us can write now with you. Cannot write. Writing was a subject. Reading was also a subject. When you come and read in the class, in an exam situation, because that your speed is also important. So
we still have that. We still have literature. But we have literature in school. And I remember then when we would be called in front of the class to read the book. So we still have literature.
No, listen. Literatures are there. It depends on how you're handling it. It's application. What do I say? How do we encourage it? Start from home. First and foremost, parents should commit their children to reading, not handset. You see, parents will go to market and do blah 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 and so forth. That's not the thing. That's a child the age you reach. Your child is smart when you buy smaller phone, like a hello, and not want to keep different. So as the child is growing, begin to encourage them buy books as gift. In those days when we are growing, one major gift in our house is now you go to the school stage, which is the level of social organization. The school should devise a means of every week a child should be compared to read a novel, no matter the size of the book. It can be storybook. And when you go to the class, that's the joy we had even when we were parent investing. It is the class is conversational. It's not the shop we're going through all the hell. No, the discussion is we're conversing in the class with your professors or their thesis. Cannot have adaptation.
Why is that? But they're educated. They went through the system.
Do you know that without me, take everyone an example, it will shock you that they compromise, that's an example of corruption. They call it corruption. Examiner, okay, what I've already go to secondary school level, why I can make it. Principals encourage external board of mathematics exams. Write it is one of this. Principals collect money from families and write exams for their other pupils. So what they expect? What they expect?
And that is very pathetic.
So it is happening today. Everything, I just look into this.
Yes, how do we get to look into especially the school system you have mentioned? Hold on, please. When you have said that even the teachers now who are supposed to guide these children, some of them, like you have said, might even be involved in, what is going on. So how do we put a stop to it? You're the chairman of the the Association of Nigerian Authors. I would also like to know how much you have done, or how much your association, that association, measure your progress.
You go to one, you are not the manager of the school.
Of course.
Ours is to contribute, to ask questions. Okay? So there are good schools, to be precise. Most of these last time we had our reading Latin schools like to sit attended, schools like Northern Girls attended, Commission to Kumbodo attended, and so on. We saw the level of enthusiasm. It was good. The standard was high. Okay, we have our professors that supervise the reading session. But what I'm saying is, how can it be encouraged? We should start from our homes. I told the parents should begin to encourage their children from small child upbringing. Then when they move to primary school, okay, the school system should produce one book per week. Take a solution to it. Let's go back from family. Once you have a baby today, they back into reading. Because reading is the main knowledge you're talking about. And they'll be able to interpret what you're reading. So in terms of that reading literature, it will also affect reading other books. So when a child got the culture of reading, life makes easy. In short, in the classroom, you see the journey in the person. Okay,
that's for the children now. Let's go to the... Yes.
Then they haven't done that. In the primary start again, primary schools that should produce every week a child going to read a book, to read a novel. Okay. It mustn't be academic, it mustn't be part of his exams. Because that will keep the child busy at home.
And you don't see that as a distraction to the actual curriculum. Okay. The books they're actually supposed to be.
No.
Let's look at our schedule now. Let's look at our curriculum, our educational curriculum, especially when it has to do with secondary schools now. Hold on, please. You see a class, and you see so many subjects one child is supposed to do within a short period of time, which is one term. And then you see a lot of books. If these kids have to take all their books to school, their bags will be so heavy. You carry a secondary school student's bag so heavy, and yet those are not all his books. So for the books that they are already doing, that's the subject they're already carrying out, with all of those textbooks that they have to get, bringing in more novels for them to read weekly, what time would these children have? Hold on, please. What time would these children have to even go through their own books for that class?
Let me ask, do you know these days children no longer have timetable? In our days, we prepare private reading timetable. Yes. When I had interaction with come back and draw the back somewhere, able to eat is a problem. It's on his phone. It's on his phone already, so what do you expect? The mother says, Johnny, He said, Mom, it's on there. And that one is happened a couple of days. I think I was in this or that. Come and sweep the house now. Get up now. That child, from 12 midnight, she was awake till 6 a.m. Fingering the phone. So, is the phone with that table? So the parents should put eyes in what they do. Look at their paper. We have a personal timetable. Even exam period, when they give exam timetable. But you can't do it all at a time. There are books you don't even take to school. Because you know how many what you are going to study for the day. Let's assume sometimes you haven't read all the courses in a day. From class 3, you're already programmed. 8 courses in your way, 8 courses. Maths, English, you know them. So, telling you to read a novel per week will have to keep you busy. Because look at
the textbooks are enough to keep them busy.
Have you not seen now? This is the education book. They go to classroom, they are taught,
and then they have their books for literature. They have their books, their novels.
The literature has prose, has drama,
poetry.
Good. How many of them read them? Do you know one experience I discovered? I found out.
So the recommendation should be about schools encouraging their students to let's even start from the books that you have for that term. Before we start introducing
the books they have is not the problem. Read them.
Exactly. That's something that should actually be looked into.
Let me tell you one story again. In literature, more teachers look for the book they know they can read. They are not looking for people to get longer. I have a mom. That was a book he said they should not read them longer. It has nothing to do with us. It cannot. You must read a book that will enrich your culture, enrich your knowledge, enrich your experience. Not a book that will corrupt you. I don't know what I mean. But someone like hide pornography books in their drawer. So the simple thing, the easiest way is to encourage 1 week, 1 book.
All right, 1 week, 1 book. Now let's go straight to the tertiary institution. You know, we've talked about the primary institution, we've talked about the secondary. It's time for us to talk about the senior men now. No. The ones you cannot talk to sometimes.
You go to somebody's university now,
yes.
They have masters. Because sciences and technology, they are areas are into technicalities, but they also need to keep your brain busy with creative work, which is literature. So go now and review Concubine and come let us discuss it. So because there are lecturers that are interested that are there, you can't do literature if you can't go in other works done, not only your field.
Then for the Association of Nigerian Authors, like we mentioned earlier, you know, I asked you earlier how much they have done, and you mentioned some secondary schools that attended, some of them. So we cannot even say they are not doing anything. They're actually carrying out steps
also
to help.
Accountable.
Okay, so before we get to media now, which is actually something we should really talk about. I am also looking at feedback, because whatever step we're taking is because of there's a reason, there's a goal. So if you're carrying out a step, you should also know how far that has gone. What is the feedback that you have gotten? This conference that we held, and so much money that we probably have spent to put it all together, what is the result we got from that conference? Going back to the schools and trying to find out, you know, follow up. Whatever step you take, like I said, there's a reason. And if that is not working towards achieving that goal, then that way you sit down again and think of something else that can be done. That's why I asked you earlier if there have been anything like feedback or, you know, follow up after all of those meetings.
Those events, at the end of the day, they go home. And the next thing you will do is call hard FRE. You don't survive the class. One, in use of the that's what we call quality assurance in education. And they need to collaborate with us. That's another issue. Because the compromise standards, everybody wants money.
So you're saying some of the schools are not usually willing to cooperate with?
No, not necessarily some of the schools.
Okay, when you say they, who do you mean?
And the educational planners. What is our own? We organize the workshop.
Yes.
We organize the reading system. We organize the writing workshop. At the end of the day, some of them are issuing certificates. So we issue awards.
Okay.
Some we usually play, smartphone. Okay. Some iPad. They encourage them, because if someone has won, they got to hear.
Yes.
Then we also
to cooperate with you. What do you need, or what do you mean?
Students, I'm going to teach them. Because you said advanced notice, advanced book on time. Then you prepare them and they will come there. But we think that this should spread. But the other important thing is that there should be proper enlightenment. How much
do we even have young people as members of the Nigerian authors?
No, we have team group.
Okay.
We have team group. As part of the beginning to see how we can establish this team with all schools. And it's not easy. You just go there, those who have debating and whatever, debating and drama society, those in some of the schools when we are growing. So have a scripture union. So we want to set up a team with writers group at that level of school where they can begin to write. We look to their books. There are good draw writers in those at that age. To them, one of them was how many years was she? That's what we do.
All right, we hope that more will be done, and we hope that the result.
It's not just writing, you must write books. There is patience in writing.
Okay.
People rush to one of the business centers and it's produced, and they begin to say, no, there's patience in it. When you write, you also give to those who experience. You must have good editorial view with your work, and they cleanse it up. You don't write, I want it tomorrow because you want to publish. No. You must write and write good books. That when someone is reading it, it flows. You know you have written. That's one problem we're having this day. People just say they're writing. The next day they go to the computer center, they repeat and begin to say, no, it comes from patience. You have written good books. They will leave your book and go to import another book from outside the environment. Some of us in Nigeria, we have written good books. What's up with lots of using our books? What's up for you not using our books? What's up with that? So the problem is that our lecturers don't use our books. They still go outside. So bring no books that are not even better than our own books. That's the problem we're having.
All right. So
yes. Encourage it.
Okay.
That's the issue. They should encourage us. Use our books and our environment and teach our people our culture. I can't imagine me having the book that has to cover up to Nigeria. They are going to out west to get the book. Like what are you going to teach from West here? Someone are reading a Yoruba culture, and you are bringing to teach in a River Delta, Niger Delta culture. It doesn't work. And we have books here. Instead of to encourage us here, they are going to have to buy their own books.
All right, so let's encourage. Yeah, so
the media too.
Okay, yes, we'll come to the
media
now.
Is also not helping.
How?
Money oriented, and I like money oriented. Because one, anything that will not give you money is a social responsibility. Media should be in vanguard